Ramley, welcome into a brand new episode of the Rams Report, presented as always by Prize Picks. Guys, on today's show, we're breaking down everything we didn't quite get to touch on in our first breakdown of day 4 of training camp. We went through a little bit of the notes yesterday. We talked about some of the biggest stories out of day 4. So if you're wondering, like, hey, where's the Aaron Donald update from Sean McVay? Where's the discussion on the signing of Blake Hance, which obviously the Rams actually just confirmed as we were on our way into the studio. They finally tweeted that out themselves that Blake Hance has been signed. We covered all that in yesterday's video. So go check that out if you haven't already after you watch today's show. But before we get into today's video, I need a little bit of help from you guys. Guys, we are running down 11,000 subscribers here on the channel. It is unbelievable. We hit 10K it was like 15 days ago that we hit 10,000 subs. I was looking at the numbers last night. We're just 150 subs away from hitting 11K as well. Unbelievable growth. Thank you guys so much. And if you haven't already subscribed and you want to be a member of the first 11,000 because we just keep going up, get your ticket now and hit that subscribe button. The Ramley is always accepting new members. But let's get you up to speed on all the news now that you're subscribed, starting with Byron Young. Byron Young, we'd heard a little bit around him earlier this week. We know he sat out of practice on Monday, or I guess I should say we knew he sat out of practice on Monday. He told Sarah Barshop he was still managing a little bit of right knee soreness, stemming back from kind of a chronic knee injury for him, something he's been dealing with throughout his career. He said he dealt with it all throughout last year and still managed it perfectly, had one of his best career seasons. Tuesday was another rest day for Byron Young, and Sean McVay shared a little bit more light into exactly what that strategy is going to look like going forward, saying we have guys that have accumulated a bunch of snaps, and the goal is let's be proactive instead of reactive. So we've always looked at him as a guy that kind of fits in that tier 1 category, similar to what we do with Matthew. And so he'll be out here practicing and be ready to go tomorrow. So again, like I told you guys when we talked about this in the first place, this is nothing to worry about. And if anything, with that context from McVay, right, it speaks to the strategy of the Rams in the same manner that we talked about with Stafford, where obviously Stafford, this has been driven primarily by concern around his back over the last couple of seasons. This is driven by concern, and I don't even know if concern is the right word, but a desire to manage Byron Young's knee, and it's the same level of intelligent decision-making. It's the same strategy around, you know what? We know who Byron Young is. In 3 seasons in the NFL, being a starter since the first day he walked onto this team, he has delivered 32 sacks, 179 pressures, and he's set for the best season of his career playing across from Myles Garrett. He is better off prepping his body in the ways he knows how and managing that, nagging issue with his knee in the ways he understands best, in the way the Rams training staff understands best, then getting some extra practice reps. At the end of the day, we know who Byron Young is going to be when he hits the field. We trust this guy. We know this guy after years of service. It's not like a rookie where rookies need every rep they can get. It's not like Ty Simpson, where Ty Simpson needs to get every snap that he can take. We understand what Byron Young is going to be. I'm not worried about him missing a couple practices, especially with him getting back out there today. Obviously, that McVay comment came yesterday. But coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about how the Rams are handling the expectations. Yesterday, a jog through for them, so it was mostly media focused, and they got a lot of questions around how are you handling these expectations? Obviously, Super Bowl favorites going into this season. We're going to talk about how it's impacting the way the Rams are going into this season, if it is at all, coming up in just 1 minute. But before we do that, I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And guys, it's America's #1 sports picks app. You know them, you love them, our good friends over at Prize Picks. Guys, if you're a regular viewer of the Rams Report, I know you know all about America's #1 sports picks app. But if you've never tuned in with us before, before or you've never heard of Prize Picks, there's no easier place to play daily fantasy. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats, and you're locking in your lineup, guys. And with the social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your buddies. You can copy lineups with a single click. That includes me. You can copy my lineups if you drop a follow on my Prize Picks profile. Jackson Durham is my username. And you guys can see all of the picks I've been putting together. I shared this lineup with you guys yesterday, and it actually ended up cashing out for us, which is big. We greened out, as I always say, and the way we did so is with a reboot. This is a really cool feature that Prize Picks has, where if a player doesn't finish a game, like Aaliyah Boston, she exited early due to an injury in that one, we still end up rebooting. Prize Picks doesn't count that as a loss, so that was huge for us, and we end up taking home $15. If you guys want to join me on Prize Picks, then make sure you take advantage of the new user offer. It's also a brand new offer. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right. PrizePicks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win that first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks, as always, for sponsoring today's video. Let's talk about the weight of expectations, Rams fans, because they do have some, right? Like, you get all this media attention. You get all this media focus on the Rams this year. And there's always more media focus than average on the Los Angeles Rams because of the first two parts of their name, Los Angeles. It's one of the biggest media markets in the entire world, second only to New York City. So at the end of the day, you're always going to face increased scrutiny. But this season, you go out and make the kind of moves they did, it naturally brings with it more intense scrutiny, more intense expectations than ever from everybody out in the media and even from us here as Rams fans. At the end of the day, we have high expectations. Andrew Siciliano asked Sean McVay how the media's expectations are kind of affecting him. What do they mean to you? And he, in classic McVay fashion, told Andrew Siciliano and the rest of the media, I respectfully say that your guys' opinions don't mean shit to me. Absolutely hilarious. Sean, never stop being yourself, Sean McVay. I love that mentality. I love that just absolutely blunt honesty from Sean McVay of, you know what? You guys can do your jobs. You can have your columns. You can have your podcasts, and even with us, your YouTube channels where you talk about expectations, and it doesn't mean anything to us at the end of the day. Those expectations don't affect the way we view ourselves, and we're not going to allow that to cloud our season. We're focused on the task at hand on a week-to-week basis. Obviously, I mean, he said that all in one sentence of your opinion does not mean shit to me. Trent McDuffie also asked about expectations, and he said, honestly, I don't know if many guys feel the expectations that everybody claims that we have. Again, you're seeing this mindset seep from top to bottom. Another leader on this team talking about expectations and the way the Rams are preparing for everything this season. Go to QB1, Matthew Stafford. What did he have to say on it? Training camp is a little bit of a microcosm of what a season is, right? There's going to be days where, the offense plays good and the defense doesn't play as well. Next day, defense plays great, offense doesn't play as well. That's how you win football games. You don't go out and just dominate on offense, dominate on defense, and then everybody goes home. It's the NFL, right? We're going to have to find ways to win games. The Rams are not going to get caught reading their own headlines, guys. That's so clear from this training camp, from every leader in this Rams locker room, from every leader in this Rams organization. They understand that we all have our expectations, that we all have our standard that we have set for the Los Angeles Rams, and we could do that. That's what we do. That's what fans, that's what analysts, that's what we all do. That's our job at the end of the day. That's our role. But it can't affect them, and it won't affect them. They won't allow it to break into this locker room. This locker room is not focused on that kind of a big picture approach. Maybe the organization is, maybe the front office is. I'm sure Les Snead, that's what he's thinking when he's roster building. But from a week-to-week basis, you've got to manage every team. Week 2 this season, we're going to go play the New York Giants. Yeah, they're not coming off a great season. They're still going to be damn fired up to come into SoFi Stadium and play the Super Bowl favorites. I absolutely guarantee you that that young team is going to be juiced to come beat us in our house. You can't let that happen. You can't let Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo have that moment. Every team knows what you did this offseason. Every team you face, from top to bottom, all 32 of them have a target on you. At the end of the day, that's the reality of it. Everybody wants to go out and show, you know what, Rams, you did all this offseason, but we're still going to beat you anyway, and you can't let it happen. So again, I ask you, Rams fans, what's your prediction for the Rams record? Knowing how locked in this team is despite the expectations, what do you think? I am set at 15-2, guys. I am locked in on a 15-2 record. I've asked you guys this in the past, like I said, but I want to know, where do we stand on the Rams record? When we did our poll, 49% of you were with me at 15-2 or better, and 79% of over 2,000 respondents had 14-3 or better as their answers. So again, high expectations for this Rams team. It speaks for itself. You guys even speaking for yourselves on that. Let's close out today's video and by poking a little fun at a divisional opponent. Bad news for the Seahawks yesterday. Their continued delay of Devin Witherspoon's contract might be costing them a little bit more money. At the end of the day, it's not a ton more money, but Denzel Ward got paid yesterday by the Cleveland Browns. They reset the corner market in a move that I honestly, this one came out of left field for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did not expect Denzel Ward to get an extension, just given the way the Browns have been kind of moving over the last couple months. And if he did get one, I certainly did not expect it to reset the corner market. But congratulations to Denzel Ward. He's still a very good player. It's not what I'm saying. But even with my disdain for the uniform he wears, I have to admit Witherspoon is a much better player. At the end of the day, he absolutely is. Like, flat out. Just going to admit it. I called him Denzel. Devin Witherspoon is a much better player than Denzel Ward. At the end of the day, it's simple. I mean, we can admit that, even being divisional rivals. So if I'm Devin Witherspoon, or I'm Devin Witherspoon's agent, and I'm seeing that Denzel Ward is now the number 1 paid corner, and he's making 31.1, well, then I need to be making like 33 if I'm Devin Witherspoon. So again, that's going to cost Seattle more money. And at the end of the day, what's bad for Seattle is good for us. We don't need Seattle to trip and stumble to beat them, but it's certainly funny to watch when they do. So we'll continue to point and laugh when these things happen. And that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the Rams Report. Guys, again, like I mentioned off the top, we are running down 11,000 subscribers. If you made it to the end of today's video and you're not already subscribed, it is an excellent time to join us. We need just 150 more passionate, fired up Rams fans who are ready to get the 2026 season underway to hit 11,000 subs and keep on growing this channel. So join us today, and I'll see you later.